Hello, everybody. I'm Rick McCutcheon, and today on Partner Talks, we've got Jason Gumpert from MS Dynamics World. Jason, tell the people who you are and what exactly is MS Dynamics World.
Hey Rick, thanks for having me back. Yeah, what is MS Dynamics World? Well, as we also call it, MSDW, we're an independent news and information source online. We are all about digital media and all about giving an independent voice to the community in terms of what Microsoft's doing, what's happening in the channel, some user stories when we can, and also helping brands get their names out there through some of our branded materials and branded activities as well. So, really both sides of that and trying to cover just really as much as we can of the BizApps ecosystem.
Okay, great. And you and I have just returned from an outstanding event that we were media sponsors and hosts for, the partner marketing event at Dynamics Con. Let's get your feedback on the event.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone who helped organize it, you, me, Adam, and the team at Doug, seemed to all come away really happy with the results, the response we got from the audience, from the signups that we had, which was like triple what we had last year, which I mean makes everyone feel good, I think, and really happy with how the lineup evolved, the agenda. So I think we had a great agenda last year, and this year we went even further with multiple tracks, which is something I would love to do even more of in the future because that was really, a really great experience, I think, in the tracks that I sat in on. And I personally learned a lot, and I felt like the audience, the people there who got into those slightly more intimate sessions, got a lot out of them too. So I think people came away from it feeling energized, and they went right, and the way it worked out just before the start of the Dynamics Con 2025 sort of main event was a great sort of arrangement. So yeah, I mean, it's I haven't gathered all my thoughts yet, I don't think. I've actually been working on a little bit of that today too, but yeah, I think I certainly came away feeling good about it. I don't know how you felt.
Oh, I felt great about the event, and this is PME, as we say, 3.0.
Right.
First year we had 30, second year we had 60. This year, I think we peaked in attendance at around 162 or some number like that. So it was a jammed room of marketing professionals. And, next year, 400 marketing professionals. I'm sure we'll pull it together. But we both were presenters on the event, and you've got a very unique report that you've been providing from MS Dynamics World from your partner customer data on business applications. Talk a little bit about what you presented there.
Yeah, well, it was really covering a lot of ground, I would say. We were trying to answer several questions we wanted to know about demand generation and the efforts that ISVs and VARs both put into that in this space in particular, how they work together to develop leads, how they what they expect from each other as part of the sales process in terms of support and backup and making each other successful. And then we also asked kind of what customers think about all this. So, they are very aware of ISVs working together with their VARs or their SIs, and they have some very specific viewpoints on that too. So we measured all of that, and we found some things that were really kind of in line with what I would call a conventional wisdom, but things that also, for me at least, went against some of the anecdotes I hear, or went against some of the assumptions I might have made just in talking, one-on-one with different partners or different customers at different times. Like the fact that, just to throw one out here, I always imagine that SIs don't really care that much about incentives that ISVs give them. They more care about the ability to help and influence their deal, make their customer happy. Turns out that is not the case. There's some pretty clear signals that the sort of the financial support, from the margins that they get from those sales really do drive a lot of their ability to recommend and demo and deploy ISV solutions.
And just to make sure they do want their customers still to be happy, but they also want those
Oh
incentives.
yeah, for sure.
So we've done this several times at several different conferences, and my takeaway from your data is a presentation that I do on consumption of content, right? So we hear numbers like over 20 pieces of content are sort of consumed by the customer during their buying journey when they're looking at business applications. And you've really broke it down nicely of, what are they consuming at the top of the funnel? What are they consuming at the middle of the funnel? What do they consume when they're ready to buy? And I think from, we deal with marketers a lot, but I think from sales organizations, this becomes really, really important.
Yeah, and it one of the things that we show in this report is when you sort of ask people generally where they get information, you get one sort of list about popularity levels where it's maybe conferences at the top, or it's maybe it's Microsoft at the top or whatever. But then when you start asking, well, what kind of content do you care about like you said, at this buying stage, at that buying stage, all of a sudden those lists become very, very different and much more, like you said, relevant to sellers and revenue teams as people sometimes talk about. And it really sort of changes the calculus.
Okay, so I'll put some links into the show notes here for viewers who want to find some of this information. But over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be busy again. So when this Partner Talks actually gets published, we should be in Spain at Resco Next conference, doing some partner work again, presenting our data. But then we go off to a bigger conference in Slovenia, DynamicsMinds, which is going to be well over 1,000 business application professionals meeting for 4 or 5 days of education. Talk a little bit about what we're going to be presenting and what you're going to be presenting at DynamicsMinds.
Yeah, so you and I together will be presenting some of those same findings. I think we'll be shaping them a little bit to fit into that particular audience, which I think will be kind of partner focused. And we'll be sort of interweaving in, I think, a little bit of comparison data from the past and some perspective from today, and maybe getting a little bit of interaction from the audience too, since I know that the DynamicsMinds audience from my past experience has some very strong opinions. I mean, these are folks who come with their own ideas, and that's always great for dialogue. I'll also be hosting or moderating a panel separate from that, all about the state of reporting with D365 F&O. That will include representatives from a few different organizations. We'll be talking about, a lot of document automation themes, talking about format designer, document generation, and trends and best practices there. So that should be a really lively conversation. I think that one's on the first day. So maybe before our panel focused on marketing.
Okay, and I'll also be doing one with a group of ISVs talking about, mainly people who are new to the ISV world, and how to build product, right? And get it to a global market within the Microsoft ecosystem. So DynamicsMinds, outstanding show. We get the European feel, European feedback, and I think it sort of really helps with a lot of the data we collect and how we present it.
Yeah, we get the Slovenian experience, which has always been
Outstanding.
wonderful in the past. So yeah.
Yes. Okay, Jason, I want to thank you for your time today, and I really look forward to more data from MS Dynamics World because, it's great that we have tribal knowledge, but when we have the hardcore data tell us what's going on, I think it makes our businesses better.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye.